Anyhow, you might wonder what I have up here. The future is almost here. Yesterday, if we'd have talked about the future, as in today, it would be here already. So the future happens pretty fast. But the future I wanted to talk about this morning is one in which we all can get up to a 4% bump in pay through our new 401k. It even rhymes. I thought there'd be excitement about this. Come on, guys, a 4% bump in pay in a 401k. So this is something that we've been wanting to do for a very long time as a company. Sarah and I, you have heard me talk over the years that I want to see you all be able to retire well. I think investing for the future is a huge part of being able to retire well. And if you're like me, you're going to work till the day you die, but it's nice to work when you're older because you want to, not because you have to earn money. Okay? When you're young and you have energy, we don't know what our health will be like, all those things. You've heard me talk a lot about investing. I'm excited about this because a 401k has some benefits that nothing else really does. But we'll go through this here. So the details, the target start date is October 1st, right around the corner. You don't have long to think about if you want to be part of this or not. We wanted to make it happen so fast that you would just be part of it. No, actually, that's not exactly how this went down. But it will be starting, if everything goes as planned, on October 1st. This is not the last meeting we will have on this. The people we're working with will be out to have a meeting with the whole company, and then they'll want to meet with you guys individually. So we're going to have to plan a little time for that and get you all signed up or not signed up or however you want to do this. Here's the exciting part. This is where the 4% bump in pay comes from. The company match. The company is going to give or match what you give to your 401k 100% of what you give for the first 3% you give out of your paycheck. So the way a 401k works, you can't just put money in. It has to come out of your paycheck. So it's deducted weekly out of your paycheck. So it's not like I could just give a check of $2,000 right now and put it in my 401k. I have to work. It's got to come out of the paycheck. The IRS is all over 401ks. They got this thing really some stringent laws, and it's got to look a certain way. So that's part of their restrictions on it. So for the first 3% that anybody puts in, we're going to put 3% in on your behalf. And then we're going to contribute 50% on the next 2%. So if you put in a grand total of 5% of your paycheck, you will get 4% pay raise into your 401k from Integrous, starting October 1st. We're doing that because I want to see as many of you do this as possible, and I want to see you put it in as much as you can. Tax advantages, this is the nice thing about a 401k, and the only way you can get this tax advantage is through this 401k, is where you pay tax on the money before you put it in, and as the investment grows, it grows tax-free. So if I put $100 in and I retire when I'm 60, 70 years old, and it became worth $1,000, I don't pay tax on that $900. And that's the advantage of a 401k over everything else that we looked at. So when we were talking to the people that we set this up with, they said, hey, if you're really trying to do the best thing for your employees, this is what you're going to want to do, especially if you have a lot of younger employees, because that time of tax-free makes a really big difference. So I'm excited about that. So we're going to use Big Jake as an example here so we can see what is possible with a 401k. So this is Big Jake's big 401k plan. He's 25 years old and he's making $50,000 a year. He wants to retire at 67 years of age. If we do what we're talking about here, and most 401k plans, they're going to show you a number of 8% on the return, a percentage of 8%. I use the lower number, but I'll give you verbally the 8% number so you can see what that could be. I think historically, if you look back through the years, 8% is a pretty middle ground. So maybe I should have used that instead of being a little bit conservative. But here's what we're looking at. If Big Jake would take $50 a week out of his paycheck and put it into the 401k, when he was 25 till the age he retired, he would have put in 200,000. But he would be worth in his 401k almost 1.5 million. That's at 6.5% interest. If it was at 8% interest, it would be over 2 million. Okay? That's $50 a week. If you could put $50 a week into a 401k, starting at 25 years of age, with a company match as we're offering, 1.5 to 2 million just from doing that. That's why it's pretty important, I think, to invest early and when you're young and make it happen. Sarah and I have always tried to invest the maximum amount of our income as we could. And it would be interesting to go back through and look at how much we've invested percentage-wise of our income. But we always wanted it to be the maximum amount. And it pays off. The more you can put into it, the quicker it pays off. So that's at $50 a week. And of course, you can just basically double those numbers. If you did $100 a week at 6.5%, you would have put in $400,000 over your lifetime, but it would be worth $2.3 million. At 8%, it would be worth $3.2 million. So you can see, with a little investing, it can go a long way. So one thing we have to think about is inflation. It might sound like a lot of money, but as inflation happens, it's not quite as much money in the future as it is today. So that's why it's very important to have money somewhere where it's going up faster than inflation. If you're investing in things that are decreasing in value while inflation is going up, it's a double whammy. But if you can invest in things that are going up at a faster rate than inflation is, you can stay ahead of inflation. So very important to find some way to invest. You do not have to do this. All I would say is invest somewhere. But this here, with the company match, might be one of the best places you could invest at this point. Because it's automatically 4% return automatically on all your money right away. Or 4% pay raise, however you want to look at it. So I'm very excited about this. I have been wanting to do this for years. Of course, as you can see, it comes at a pretty high cost to the company, so we had to make sure we were at a place where we could do this. So thank you all for working hard, for doing the right thing, for showing up every day in the heat, in the rain, when you don't feel like coming into the office and talking to that terrible customer. Whatever it's been, all the hard work we've done to get us to this point where we can offer this, it's you guys. So thank you. But I'm very excited about it. Just a couple last minute things here. How to prepare for the big day. I would recommend, if you're not already setting aside money on a weekly basis, I would recommend starting right away, setting aside some money. If you want, we can take it right out of your paycheck and put it into the company. So you get used to, number one, or we'll go with number one first, is that it gives you a buffer. Once you put money in a 401k, you cannot get it out until you retire. If you take it out before you retire, you lose so much money because the government will penalize you like you cannot believe if you pull out early on a 401k. It is just not acceptable. So if you don't have an emergency fund or a buffer, it would be good to start doing that right now. Make sure you have a little buffer built up. And so you could say, hey, you know what? I'm going to see how it feels to give $100 a week or $50 a week or whatever you're going to do. I want to see how that feels and how I live on that. We could take that out of your paycheck, put it in the company, and you can pull the money out of the company anytime you want. So it's a great place to kind of put it. It's making 4% interest in the company, and you can touch it anytime you need it. When you put it in the 401k, it is gone until you retire. The other thing is, like I said, it will help you decide how much you can realistically contribute. So if you over-contribute, you can back it down, of course. But once you put the money in there, like I said, it's out of reach. So if you would do those two things, make sure you have a little buffer, get used to how much is being put in there so you can live on it. I know you don't have a ton of time. October 1st is very soon, but it would be enough of time to start seeing how that feels. Yep.
You could also potentially stash money between now and then that you want to live on, and then put a high percentage of the
Because each year you're capped at a certain amount you can put into a 401k. So if, and I think it's like 14,000 or something, 18.5. So I don't know that anybody here is going to hit that cap, but if you want to get a big start on your 401k, you could, like Sarah said, you could save some money to live on, and then you could put more from your paycheck towards it. But yeah, it's a pretty high contribution limit, which is awesome. That's another nice thing about a 401k, has a high contribution limit. So you can put in as much or as little as you want, or nothing. That's completely on you. But I'm excited to offer this to you guys. So starting October 1st, anybody who takes advantage of this, consider yourself bumped up 4% if you take full advantage on your pay. So pretty excited. Are there any quick questions on it? I'm sure there's going to be some, but we'll have more clarification. But any quick questions or thoughts? Plugs, excitement?
I'm a lot more excited than I was earlier. I didn't quite know what you meant when you put that up there. So.
With the future. Awesome.
How does it work if somebody was to quit? Does the 401k just sit there, or does it get?
Eventually, he would need to transfer it out of the company into a different company's plan. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have control of where that's invested, or is that?
You do have some options. Yep, you do. And they'll work that out with each one of you. How aggressive do you want to be? You want to try to go for 12%, but then you lose big some years. The younger you are, the more aggressive they'll make it. The older you get, the safer they make it. So hopefully you're not losing big time when you're just about ready to retire. Yep. Any other thoughts, questions? Okay. You say what? Just do it. Just do it, yes. Yes. I think John Smoker had talked to us about this a little while ago about investing when we brought it up. Makes a big difference, right?
So many young guys here. I mean, this is.
Yeah.
And before you know it,
You'll be pushing 40 like me. And you cannot make up for time. The power of this, guys, if we go back real quick just to John Smoker's point, is time. If you can see that top, it's purple. That's time. That's interest accumulating. So you make interest on the interest you made the years prior, and it just grows, and that thing gets steep towards the end. Because if you would retire, at 55 versus at 66, those shorter amount of years, it's huge what that does. That's why if you're young, if you can do it now, you put way less money towards it than the people who are older. Yeah. So I cannot stress enough. I hope that it's a huge expense to the company because everybody's doing it. That's my hope. But if you don't want the free money, you don't need to. All right. Excited. Very excited. October 1st. Get that in your head. And like I said, there will be some more talks on it, and we'll have this thing rolling out if everything goes as planned. Yeah, very excited. Thank you, guys.